Cool, well today I have come to one of the mountaintops behind the house here in our brand new General 1000 XP Deluxe and the two-seater. This has been a really fun collaboration between Polaris and Expedition Overland. Basically they said build something cool out of it, and we said okay, and so we took a lot of our principles that we've learned from building trucks over the years and applied it to a side-by-side. And it's a micro machine for micro adventures and micro overland trips. I can't wait to do some overnight trips in this with the boys, come to places like this and camp out. It's going to be a blast. And now this truck is going to be towed behind our Ram 3500 on our big Montana trip. The concept is that we roll up, find a really great place to base camp out of, and then we use Curiosity, nicknamed after the Mars rover, to roll off and go and explore a lot of the deeper places that a Ram 3500 simply can't get and that you wouldn't want to take. And now the trail that we took up here, you certainly wouldn't be taking that. It'd be even pretty tough for like a outfitted Tacoma to get up here. So this machine is really going to allow us to see some neat places and go further than we would if we were just in our truck. So let me tell you a little bit about it. This is the General 1000 XP Deluxe 2020. It's got 100 horsepower, 13 inches of clearance at its lowest, and I think 14 at its highest in the front axle. Man, it's a go-getter. It crawls. We were in four-wheel drive getting up here, and it's going to really allow us to see some places. Now we've outfitted it with some of the standard things that you can get from Polaris. So we asked them for the skids underneath, the front grille or the front bull guard, the top cargo rack, because we can place gear and camping equipment on the front because it's already got a lot of weight to the rear, so we want to be able to load extra stuff on the front. We mounted rigid lights, the little pod lights to the front here. And then after we drove it for a little while, we decided that we definitely wanted rear view mirrors. So we put the rigid side shooter on this, and that allows us to have a full mirror. And then this pod right here shines almost 90 degrees off the side. So at night, when we hit the brights, all of these come on and it is daylight out there. Go back down to the regular low beams, and it's just the LED front from Polaris on that. And then there's a running light after that. From Polaris, we also did the sidebars for a little added protection. Already just coming up here, being in the rocks, that seemed to be a good idea. It helps kick things out and whatnot. And there's stronger ones out there, but we said, you know what, let's just use these first and see how we do. And if we need to reinforce them and get better, bigger, badder ones later, we will. But for now, let's run the Polaris ones. The tire and the wheel combination, it is an Icon wheel with a full bead lock. That's a true bead lock, and it's running a 31 1050 Grabber X3 tire. This is the toughest tire I've ever run, and I know that if I'm running this tire, I have got no concerns of really flats or punctures and things, especially on a vehicle that's this light. It can certainly happen, but we are so confident in it that we're actually not running a spare. We are instead running a really good tire repair kit and a small power shot power tank in the event that we have to fix a puncture and air up the tire. On the back, we've put the cargo, let's see, this is RMK, if I'm not mistaken, cargo rack on the back. And we mounted a Delta shovel, happened to be in gray. These just look like they're made for each other. So we carry and outfitted with a shovel at all times. Up here we've got the rigid little Ignite lights. So we have the ability to light up the whole area just like we do with our bigger trucks. Like at camp at night, we don't even have to wear a headlamp if we don't have to. This lights up the ground just fine. We also have rear facing scene light for setting up camp, or if we're like gold panning in the dark or setting, tearing down or whatever, we have light to use. And then we have rock lights under the four corners of the truck. And the four corners would be one right here, one on the very front, one on the driver's side, and one on the very rear here. Cool. Coming around to the back, come this way, Eli. At the top, we put a chainsaw. It's just one of our steel chainsaws that we've run from the return of the McKinsey. We also have a pick. And then in the back, we put an alu box for dust-free storage. In here is survival gear, a tent, a blanket, a scissor jack to allow us to lift a tire up and fix it if we have to. A couple helmets, things that we need in the field. Mini Maxtrax on the back, mounted on their tube mount for side-by-sides. I haven't used these yet. I look forward to using these. These will be fun. And then here we went with a couple roto packs. One is fuel and one is water. So this gives us an extra, I believe it's 2.5 gallons. Yes, 2 gallons. 2 gallons of gas, which is roughly about 25-30 miles of extra reserve on this, which is right now plenty of fuel if we were on low to get all the way back to the X hangar. We're about 20 miles out. Water on board, so we're always carrying water with us, and we can be out in the woods and be secure. We got shelter, food, water, and extra fuel, and the ability to survive out here, no problem. This vehicle will be going a long ways from the parent vehicle, which is the Ram 3500. So I wanted to make sure that if I got boys and we're out here, that we'd be able to be okay if we had to spend the night out or two. Come this way, Eli. Let's show them inside a little bit. I'll take the camera.
Okay.
Inside you'll see, let's turn the ignition on. So you'll hear a radio fire up. We just installed one of our old Yaesu radios from a cruiser, and I can already see that our test drive has given us a failure on that, so we'll have to get that fixed. That's why we test run them. Got an awesome GPS system. We've replaced all the switches here, so you can see we got the winch in and out, bed lights, windshield wipers, windshield washer, which is cool, rock lights, and the dome light here in the side-by-side. So we went and we got all universal switches, so all those look the same. Tanner and I worked on that. We mounted a fire extinguisher on a quick release. Been on a few SAR calls where that would have saved somebody big time. So we've got it readily available if we need it. This is street legal in Montana, which is really cool. Licensed, and we can ride this on the street. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's the quick and dirty. We got the bed extended, more Ignite light there, roto packs, eager adventurer, rigid side shooter rearview mirrors. We went with the pop-out windshield, which is awesome. A lot of bad weather in Montana in cold days, even in the summer or in the morning, so having a windshield really adds a lot of comfort. We got the wiper and the windshield washer with that as well, which really gives us a lot of flexibility. And the wheels, Zycon wheels are cool. The bead locks, really beneficial. On the front here, I have the Warren Sidewinder thimble. And then you can see that rigid rock light right there on the front. That allows, check this out, the front camera to see in the night. That's pretty beneficial when we're loading stuff up in the dark, especially on the toy hauler. Yeah, I'm excited. This is really cool. There's your fuel. He can't help but play with the switches. He must be a boy.
There's the rock
Cool.
ones.
Well, are you ready to have a good adventure in this, Eli?
Yes.
All right. Well, now we got to go back to the hangar, go back to work. We've had a little fun. Shall we head back?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. From the top here in beautiful Bozeman, Montana. See you on the next one.